Welcome to Around the World channel. Google delays next week's Android 11 beta release and virtual launch event 9to5Google. Google this evening announced that it is delaying next week's Android 11 Beta 1 release and the beta launch show. Supreme Court, in 5-4 decision, rejects church challenge to shutdown order, The New York Times. Washington. The Supreme Court on Friday turned away a request from a church in California to block enforcement of state restrictions on attendance at religious services. The vote was 5-4, with Chi. Wife of ex-Minneapolis cop Derek Chauvin reportedly filing for divorce, New York Post. The wife of Derek Chauvin, the fired Minneapolis police officer charged in the death of George Floyd, has reportedly filed for divorce over his role in the case, according to media reports. Transcripts of calls between Michael Flynn and former Russian ambassador released, CBS News. Transcripts of calls between former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn and Russia's former ambassador to the U.S. Sergei Kislyak were released Friday. Angela Merkel rebuffs Trump's G7 summit invitation due to coronavirus, Business Insider. German Chancellor Angela Merkel has turned down President Donald Trump's invitation to the G7 summit next month, Politico reported. Cassie Randolph tried to break up with Colton Underwood a few times, E! News. Colton Underwood and Cassie Randolph were one of the couples to last the longest in the Bachelor franchise, but it seems that something was missing from their relationship from the start. Jimmy Kimmel says enough is enough, calls for Trump to be voted out in emotional monologue about George Floyd's death, Deadline. Jimmy Kimmel's monologue was somber and serious tonight, as the late-night host shared his thoughts on the George Floyd death in Minneapolis and its aftermath. Karma's a mother, rapper Killer Mike urges CNN to stop negative coverage after Atlanta vandalism, Washington Examiner. Rapper Killer Mike spoke out against the vandalism that took place at CNN's Atlanta headquarters. "I'd like to say to CNN right now, karma's a mother," Killer Mike said. Trump says U.S. will leave the WHO, moves to strip Hong Kong of special U.S. relationship, The New York Times. Washington President Trump said Friday that his administration would begin the process of ending the American government's special relationship with Hong Kong, including on trade and law enforcement. Anti-police brutality protests are going national even in a pandemic, Vice News. Thousands of protesters are raging against George Floyd's killing. Here's what's happening at the nationwide protests. Subscribe to Vice News here, http://bit. Please, like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want to stay tuned for upcoming news.